All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's Zaleski Sports Show. It's playoffs, plus live playoff soccer at 4:30 on today's Zaleski Sports Show.
It's all yours, and it's all now.
All right, there we go. As I mentioned, playoffs. I should say, I'm Jason. This is Dan.
Hello.
And people probably know that already.
People recognize us. They don't know our names a lot of times.
So it's kind of funny. My the boss, you know the boss around here. She was telling me we were watching The Big Lebowski the other night.
It's great
oh
movie.
Man, awesome movie. It's timeless, is what it is. And in the movie, and I forget the character's name. He's on. Gosh, I'm forgetting everything right now, all at once. The Adam Sandler movie where he his family is wealthy and
Billy Madison.
Is that what it is? No, it's the other one with Winona Ryder in it.
Mr. Deeds?
Mr. Deeds, yeah, and he's the butler in Mr. Deeds,
yeah.
And he's in a lot of Sandman movies, and but in this movie, he's a bowler and he's Jesus, and he licks the bowling ball and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so but he's got Jesus. He pronounces it Jesus,
yeah,
right. He's got Jesus monogrammed on his jacket, on his bowling out. It's like a onesie, really.
It really is.
Yeah, a jumper, I think they call it, a romper. I don't know. Anyway, and my wife, the boss, turns to me and says, "You should get your name monogrammed on yours, except yours should say that guy, because what happens is she goes somewhere." And sometimes it's to a sporting event. And one in particular, I think it was a playoff game, and the people there were expecting me. She showed up. Disappointing, as you can imagine. And the people were asking her, "Where is that guy? You're here. That's not good. Where's that guy?"
Yeah. So
she calls me that guy.
Nobody knows names. It's a lot of, "Hey, I've seen you on TV." Like, okay.
Yeah. So Jason and Dan. Arcadia at Columbus Catholic playoff. So we're going to talk all about playoffs today, plus the third installment of the Merriwood Minute.
Absolutely.
Sponsored by Mid-State Technical College.
All right, we have sponsors.
Yeah, we do.
Love it.
But we're all playoffs today. We've got one soccer playoff game live, and again, that's coming up at 4:30. So if you're watching us and you care more about soccer, turn us off. Go to ZaleskiSports.com, or if you're watching on YouTube, just click on the Zaleski Sports black icon, get back to the main page and watch soccer. So they're going to kick it off in 23 minutes now. Arcadia at Columbus. Columbus is the 1 seed, Dan.
They are. That's why they're hosting in Marshfield.
Yeah, they are truly, though, at a neutral site today. Instead of their home Greasy Park location, the game moved to the artificial turfed Hiding Community Stadium at the campus of Marshfield Senior High School, the public school in town. And a great facility. You've been there a few times.
Yep.
And the turf will help with eliminating any mud, I guess, and probably lots of mud where their home field happens to be. Because it was, when I was a kid, it was an actual swamp.
Yeah, a lot of water. 4 to 5 inches of rain this week. It's been pretty crazy. Yeah,
I've got my whole watershed area back at the compound totally now underwater. I've got a deer blind, a ground blind floating out there somewhere. Because it is. It's all underwater. There's feet of water where there was anyway, I won't get into it. The number 1 seed Columbus, and I bring that up for a particular reason. Soccer still has coaches' seed meetings. I've seen Arcadia play a couple times this year, and as a matter of fact, I was in Arcadia last week for Arcadia's blowout 8-0 Mercy Rule game over Pacelli as the 3 seed.
They have a really good team this year.
Yeah, and I just imagine in that coaches' meeting, Coach Edwards, Columbus Catholic, good coach, apparently lawyer-esque arguer, because I think I'm very interested in watching that game to see if the seeds stack up the way that they are now. The 1 seed Columbus and the 3 seed Arcadia. It is a soccer factory in Arcadia. They have 3 levels of soccer at the high school in Arcadia.
That's incredible.
Think about that.
Yeah.
And I was told the football team has like 25 kids on it, and there are 60 plus in the soccer program. And these kids are up and down. They're a really fun group to watch. But Columbus Catholic, though, has, well, one, they've got the all-time goal scorer in school history as a senior on the team, and then some other complementary pieces. So it should be a fun watch. So if you don't want to watch us, that's fine. Go watch soccer.
I don't mention it in the Merwood Minute.
Okay.
But I'm not a big fan of the 1 seed hosting the 2 seed at sectionals. I'm not a big fan of it. Soccer
in volleyball.
and volleyball.
Yeah, which is happening tonight.
Yep.
Volleyball.
Basketball goes neutral at sectionals, and I think it's better.
Yeah. Well, there's certainly some more intrigue, and it's better for the fans because maybe you get something more centrally located, and your town hosts the game, schools coming from other places, and you get a chance to go watch somebody else in your hometown.
Yep.
Because the home fans or the higher-seeded fans, they're going to pile in anyway, no matter where it is, and probably the other school too. But now you get a third community involved, and so you get all those people in there. I agree with you. Other playoff games, so it's a sectional semifinal volleyball tonight as well as this sectional semifinal soccer match we've been talking about. Wapaka is at Mosinee, and Wapaka has been on some kind of a run here this last week, coming in as the 4 seed. I don't have my seeds up, but I'm pretty sure 4. Mike, 4 seed for Wapaka? Oh, man, I'm on fire right now.
4 versus 2, isn't it?
4-2. Oh,
4-3.
4-3? So Mosinee upset their way as well. Yeah, that's right. They upset O'Connell Falls, the 1 seed, right? They were the 2? Okay. I knew some things, and now all of a sudden I know nothing.
But it's the rare 3-4 seed.
Pretty rare.
Yeah.
Pretty rare. And you think of all bracketed tournaments, the 3-4. That doesn't happen that often. Aquinas is at Stratford. Another one that I think should be the home team is on upset watch tonight. The Aquinas Blue Golds, Johnny Davis' sister, plays for that Aquinas volleyball team, gifted Miss Davis down there, and the rest of the Blue Golds too. And so, again, those seed meetings where humans are still emotionally attached and you're having to argue and you're on a phone call, so sometimes words are misinterpreted, your emotion is misconstrued, or you just stumble and forget to say something, and it all adds up. I think tonight, Aquinas probably the better team, but Stratford's at home. We'll find out. That's why they settle it on the floor. And then a very, very good one tonight. Athens is at Columbus Catholic, just a short drive down Highway 97 to Marshfield. And Cat Eagles Dons trying to hold serve, pun intended, at home. They have struggled over the last decade in sectional games, have the volleyball Dons.
Yeah, Athens has a lot of really tall girls. They are built for volleyball.
Yep, tall, athletic, fearless. I would categorize the Blue Jays.
They all look very similar, too. Like there's something in the water.
I call them all the same name when I call their games. I can't tell them apart. I can't. It was the UWSP cross-country team, or members of, running by on Main Street. We're on Main Street here in Stevens Point. People walk by all the time and say hi to us. So let's pause there. So 5 games on the network tonight, all at ZaleskiSports.com. Eau Claire North and Memorial, by the way. I didn't mention that one yet. Jeez. Eau Claire North and Memorial. Now, Memorial, the much better team, they are the 1 seed. You would figure coming in, they are the favorites. That's a 5 o'clock start because in Division I, your sectional semifinals, all 4 participants, both games are in the same place in Division I.
Interesting.
Yep. So at 7 o'clock or 7:30, you'll have River Falls and Hudson. They put the D1s all together like that in that sectional semifinal. Then there's no complaints about scouting and all that kind of thing. You could sit there and watch your opponent, and then the team that wins, then you stay for the next one and watch, and you get ready for your sectional final against that team, all in the same building in Division I volleyball.
We used to do that in basketball.
I like it.
Right? But it was Friday, Saturday. It'd be overnight somewhere. Like Spooner used to always do that.
Yeah, I like it.
They would have the sectional semis, and then the teams would spend the night, and then the next Saturday night, they would play the sectional final. So it was like a little tournament.
Mm-hmm. It is a little tournament,
which is what it should be.
Yeah, and if I remember right, in the fall of 2020, they were still worried about people coming into gymnasiums and that kind of thing. And if I remember right, sectionals was a one-day affair in volleyball. So you had your semifinals at noon and 3, and then you had your sectional final at 7. All in the same gym, all the same thing.
Remember state basketball did that too?
Yeah.
Play 2 basketball games.
Oof.
2 state games back to back. Well, a couple hours between them, but man.
Yeah. It's tough. The volleyball kids, they go to these Saturday events and they play, 20 matches on a Saturday or something. Yep. I'm exaggerating, but sometimes they play 4 or 5.
It's all day.
And so they've got the stamina for their sport to, I think, do that type of thing. Basketball, that's tough, man, playing 2 fully competitive varsity state-level basketball games on the same day. That's tough.
It really is.
It's tough. But that's the way it was back then, back in the olden days. So anyway, there you go. So 4 volleyball games, but soccer at 4:30, Arcadia at Columbus Catholic, Eau Claire North versus Eau Claire Memorial, because it's Memorial hosts, at 5 o'clock, and then Wapaka, Mosinee, Aquinas, Stratford, Athens, and Columbus Catholic. So your viewing schedule is set for this Thursday. I don't know if there's even Thursday night football. I don't even care. I mean, there probably is, but
there is.
Nobody cares. Those are some bad games. There's your volleyball update.
It might be Dolphins tonight. Might be Dolphins.
Well, they just played on Sunday night. Well, that's a short turnaround for a beat-up team.
Maybe.
If it is the Dolphins.
Yeah, I might be completely wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you'll effort a solution on that, I'm sure. Football.
Pretty easy to check.
I know it is. Let's talk about football, Dan. Well, while you're looking that up, let's solve this first. Who do you got?
Buccaneers, Bills.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pass. Going to pass on that. Just show me the score later.
It is really hard to watch Thursday night football. It's not a good product ever.
No, there's just not enough days to prep, not enough days to get well and get rested. And it's been a bad product since it all started. And they started when I was a kid. They would play the last 6 weeks or something of the season, and they would have Thursday night games the last 6 weeks, or 6 of the final 9 weeks or something like that. And now it's every week.
You know what it does? Makes a ton of money.
Yes, it does. Yeah, because people love it. People love it, especially now. And this started a couple weeks ago. We're on an 8-week football bender where there is football, collegiate or NFL, every day of the week for all of October and November. Every day of the week, up until the Heisman ceremony that night before ends the streak. The Heisman ceremony ends the streak of football every night with your Mactions and your other things going on midweek.
I love the Mac.
Nothing like a Western Michigan and Northern Illinois football game on a Tuesday
Kent State's
night.
against Buffalo.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm all in.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, football time. Let's talk about playoff football. We're going to mention some games on the network. We'll probably mention some others. But this all starts with this talk here. And these were halftime football scores, level 1 last week. And it was a comeback Friday across the network and across the state. And Dan and I do the Red Zone channel. And we had, there goes that. Good thing that's okay. We're okay. What we talked about many times, because it is statistically true, have a double-digit or a 2-touchdown comeback. You just let it go. It's fine. Have a 2-touchdown comeback in the fourth quarter, a near impossibility in high school football, just because of the speed and the quickness and the play calling and the no huddle. All those things don't give that ability to have those big comebacks. And the skill level and the experience and just everything, even the coaching. It just doesn't happen. Yet, though, Dan, here we were in a level 1 football scenario, and the first one I look at here was Wausau West Spash. Halftime score, West 17, Spash 7. It was 31-19 West entering the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And I'll be doggone if Spash doesn't come back and win that game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I did the have 7 tabs open with audio on one of them, and I just flipped, like every 30 seconds, just flipped between 6 or 7 games on the network because they were all bangers. They were all great.
Iowa Scandinavia 16, Cambria Friesland at the half. Cambria Friesland comes back to win that game.
Iowa had a shot at that one at the end.
They did. Marathon 18, Auburndale nothing at halftime. That's the 1 seed Auburndale. They come back to win in the second half. The 2 seed Abbotsford 13, Cadott nothing. Cadott on a Hail Mary comes back to win the game with zeros on the clock. And then other close games, Edgar and Glenwood City was close throughout, even though Glenwood City didn't score. It was just 15-0 at halftime for the 2-seeded Wildcats. Kaukauna, the 1 seed, 8 seed Brookfield Central, tied at half 14.
Yes.
Tied at half. And Colby and Durand, Arkansas, another 1 seed. Colby, I think they finally scrapped that one out like 33-31 or something like that. Durand, Arkansas was in it till the end. And so we saw comebacks here, there, and everywhere on Friday night, and then close games where you expected the 1 seeds to carry the day, and that didn't happen by and large.
There were a lot of surprises. And generally speaking, most years, Level 1 football, the favorites just kind of stomp the 8 seed.
Yeah.
And put it away in the first quarter. It's 21-0, and just kind of cycle the kids in to get ready for the next week. The Galloping Ghosts were more like the Trotting Spirits or something.
They needed more electrons to form a ghastly mist in the corner.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing with Kaukauna, is that they have a really good offense, but the defense has been shaky at times. They come up big when they have to, but they have a really tough game. I know you're going to preview games coming up, but they got a real tough one tomorrow night.
Yep. Well, let's go through them then, and we're going to start at the top of the schedule, found at ZaleskiSports.com. Again, I know people think I just know all this stuff and memorize it all. I don't. I just read off of the website just like you do at home. Too many games to keep track of. As a matter of fact, football playoffs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. $2,000. That's what that is.
Who's counting?
Who's counting, though, really?
The WIA is getting rich.
They're counting. Spash at Kimberly. And we started in Division 1, the 3-seed Panthers, the 2-seed Papermakers. You and I got to stand on the sidelines in Week 8 and saw the Papermakers up close. And the Panthers will have their hands full on Friday night.
Absolutely will. Spash looked really good in the second half of the game against West. They probably played one of the worst first halves of the season, I would say.
Yes, without a doubt.
Kimberly isn't winning hardware every year for no reason.
Right.
Yeah.
It's true. They are, though, let me say this. They are a slower version of Papermakers teams from the past, but defensively they are stout, and that's the matchup to watch over in Kimberly. Cale Jacoby on the call is the run and gun Spash Panthers, and against a really good defensive Kimberly team in Kimberly.
Is he going to be in a suit?
On Friday night. Could be. It's going to be cold and windy, though, so I don't know. Could be, though. Could be.
His hair is going to be flowing in the wind.
He's our Fabio in the making.
Yeah.
West Appear at Kaukauna as we move to Division 2. That's the 1 and the 4 seed. We talked about Kaukauna struggling in that first half against Brookfield Central. They do finally pull away in that second half. Again, final score of that game 33-14. West Appear, though, shut out Menominee Falls 27-0, and you've got West Appear coming to Kaukauna. Player of the Year Dorio Finley in the Fox Valley Association, though, at quarterback for the Ghosts on Friday night.
Yeah, so a rematch of last year in the playoffs. West Appear beat Kaukauna, I'm pretty sure. They also played in Week 2, and it was a very close game. So these teams know each other.
They do, and they will, and it's a very short drive. It's about 15 minutes on the bus from West Appear down to Kaukauna. We move to Division 4, and we see the upset Somerset football team coming into Mosinee. Somerset, the 6th seed. They got past 3-seed O'Connell Falls on the road, 38-12. Didn't have any trouble with O'Connell Falls. Mosinee, somewhat the same at home against Bloomer, 55-16. During the year, just note for Mosinee fans that may be curious what we have to think. They've been a slow starting bunch. They've been a bunch to me that looks like at some times they kind of mentally check out of the game and then come back in. I called one of the games, and that's what I saw pretty much the entire game. And you got a team like Somerset coming in with nothing to lose, right? I'm the 6th seed. I got nothing to lose. We're going to lay it all on the line here tonight in Mosinee.
Yeah, Mosinee, how much do they benefit from playing down a division this year? I mean, that's incredible. Mosinee, yeah. And they have an offense where they're able to get the lead and they grind games out and they just batter that defensive line on the ground, and they are able to pass the ball as well. But Mosinee is really built for the lead, and off the top of my head, I don't know if Mosinee's trailed this year.
I doubt it. They only gave up 13 points in conference, 3 points in conference.
Yeah.
So it would seem that they have not.
Yeah.
And haven't faced much adversity then either, aside from just getting in their own way at times during the season. Again, my observation. Yeah, an interesting thing there. Also a note, that game moved to D.C. Everest. They will play that game in Schofield, as should Mosney win. Go back to the bracket here in Division 4. Looking on my own, brackets found at wiaawi.org. A small chance, but if Baldwin-Woodville, the 4 seed, were to upset St. Croix Central, that game back in Mosney, then that next week in a level 3 game. So Mosney saving their field for a potential level 3 game, but if it's chalk, they'll be headed over to St. Croix Central. So they're going to play the game at DC Everest anyway. Maybe it's just unplayable, even as it is now. Forgetting about setting it up for next week. Okay. Amherst at Wittenberg-Bournemouth. These two have been rivals for years. Recent memory, but for years. I remember Wittenberg-Bournemouth stole one at Amherst in a level 3 game a couple of years ago. And these two they just seem for the last 5 or 6 years just to battle each other every single year.
That bowling alley is going to be hopping in Wittenberg.
That's right. Yeah, new ownership there. I don't know who's running the joint anymore, but they love watching our broadcast from the bowling alley over in Wittenberg. You and I had a Red Zone channel there last year.
Yeah, Wittenberg, a more explosive offense. Amherst likes to control the game, a lot like Mosney does. Really good defense. Offensively, I would say challenged at times, but it's really going to be that Wittenberg offense against the Falcon defense. And Wittenberg won a one-score game earlier on in the year.
It's true. Yep. Amherst defense also shaky at times. Wittenberg got there. They beat the Clintonville Truckers 46-8. Amherst got by New Holstein 14-0. So shutout, but just the 14 points offensively at home. But a win's a win. It's win in advance in the brackets.
It was 14-0
early. Yeah. I
And
think so too.
It was one of the tabs of my computer, and I kept checking back, and there's nothing going on.
Okay, so that's level 2 football in Division 5. Mike Wendlandt will be on the call from Wittenberg. Let's move now to Division 6 because we are on a seemingly collision course between Auburndale and Stratford. But first things first.
Really?
It seems like it. And we've kind of thought this going back to about week 7.
Yeah.
In our seeding math as well. Coleman at Auburndale, Mondovi at Stratford. No recent history with Coleman and Auburndale, but the Eagles again fell behind 18-0 at halftime to the 8-seed Marathon Red Raiders last week. So can't have a slow start when the Panthers come to town on Friday night.
Yeah, and Marathon just played to not lose in the second half of that game at Auburndale. Really pushed Auburndale around. I heard that, and it wasn't on the network, so I don't know. But Auburndale played maybe their worst half of football, which is playoffs, not a great time for
0 points, that. I would agree.
Right? And they've been rolling as of late. They beat Colby the week before and kind of sleptwalked through the first half and built momentum, and the Marathon coaches just played to not lose and tried to run the clock out. And a lot of times when you try to be conservative and just try to not lose, you end up losing.
Yeah, right. What do they say? That prevent defense just prevents you from winning.
Yeah.
That's been the moniker there for a long time. So number 1 seed Auburndale Eagles, though, at home against the 5 seed Coleman Panthers. I think I'm saying that right. That's what that is.
Well, they're used to having rain on the field because there was a monsoon in week 9.
That's right, it was. Coleman, the 5 seed, got past the 4 seed Luther on the road, 31-21. And that 18-0 halftime deficit that Auburndale was in, they end up scoring 21 unanswered to win the game against Marathon 21-18. On the bottom side of that quadrant are the Stratford Tigers. They are the Division 6 defending state champions. I called that game last year from Camp Randall. They beat Mondovi. And wouldn't you know it, Dan, the Buffaloes are coming back now, and they are the 3 seed at Stratford. I believe Stratford's a better team than they were last year. If you ask folks in that Stratford program, they were planning for a state run this year. They were just a year ahead of schedule with some things kind of going their way last year. In Mondovi, a younger team, a different team this year. I expect Stratford to win going away, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, they're playing their best football right now. They might be playing better than they did in the playoffs last year.
I think so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Stratford should be a heavy favorite
if
there were such a thing in high school football.
Yeah, there's not. It's just our opinions. But my opinion is Stratford going to win somewhat easily.
Where's that game at?
And that game is in Marshfield. Yep. So Stratford also a little bit concerned about their home grass turf. So they're going to play at Hiding Community Stadium in Marshfield. Kickoff for all these games, still 7 o'clock, but that game did get moved there. What's interesting there, though, is that last year Stratford without a home stadium because the grass issues continue this year. They played all their home games at Hiding Community Stadium last year. So they're very familiar with the whole setup. They were playing 5 or 6 games there last year, including the playoff games.
Yeah, a lot of these grass fields, the athletic director, I suppose, can't get out and even paint the field.
Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. You can't do any maintenance on that. It's been raining since Monday.
Yeah, so. And it's supposed to stop tomorrow, but it's supposed to be super cold.
Cold and windy tomorrow. Bundle up when you head out to the games. All right, let's take a trip over to Division 7. We'll start at the top. It's the number 1 seed Boyceville football team playing number 4 seed Spring Valley. We'll have that live. I should back up here. Auburndale, Ben Brecht on the call. Stratford, Dan Leonard on the call. In Boyceville, Bob Radovich and Dave Sparger on the call. Number 4 seed Spring Valley got past Hurley. We know all about the Hurley North Stars. 29-24 in Spring Valley. And it was Boyceville easily over Clear Lake, 41-3. And
it sounds like 2 salad dressings.
Boyceville and Spring Valley?
Yeah.
Well, you put the Spring Valley on the Boyceville.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. All the ingredients come together. And that's a football game on Friday night. Again, Bob Radovich on the call. Boyceville would appear to be the better team there. And they would play the winner in our final game on the preview rundown here. Dan, it is Edgar and Regis. Edgar, I know, after last year's complete beatdown at the hands of the Regis Ramblers in Eau Claire, we were at that game. Regis had that one figured out from the start. They literally ran all over the Edgar Wildcats. And Edgar, I know from the beginning of this football season, they wanted Regis, and they got Regis coming to Edgar on Friday night.
Yeah, I think they wanted them in level 3 instead of level 2. And we were at that game. I don't remember if we called that game or if we were just
We were doing the red zone from Carson Park
that
day.
Because I remember not watching the game much in the second half.
Well, there was nothing to see.
Yeah.
It was a running clock game.
Do you have a score for that? 50-something to 6?
Yeah, it's about what it was.
What it was.
It was a tremendous score and a big score. We went back to look, and we couldn't find anything. And the Edgar folks were going to look, and then I think they stopped looking because they couldn't find either. The last time Edgar had a running clock against them on the football field. We couldn't find it.
Really good. I wonder how many levels up that team could have played in one state last year. Because 6 easily. I don't remember who won 5, but yeah, I would.
Aquinas won 5.
So maybe not Aquinas.
Maybe though.
Yeah, I mean they were so good.
That would have been a game I would have paid to see.
They have Division I football players all over that team.
An NFL prospect, Xander Rocco, an NFL prospect on that team.
Yeah.
So
not this year though.
Not this year. So yeah, and Edgar, and you and I talk about this offline sometimes. Edgar, a really good tackling football team defensively this year. That was the big problem last year over at Carson Park. Yeah. Regis, it still brings with it a certain cachet and a certain stigma and reputation follows the Ramblers around, and so the Edgar Wildcats will need to get over that in the first quarter. But I think they're a little bit better tackling team. That should do them well. Regis a little bit younger, inexperienced. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, the Edgar fans, the Edgar guys, they wanted Regis. They got Regis.
They got him.
I hope it's not a be careful what you wish for type situation because Edgar did not look good in the first half this past Friday. Looked really good in the second half, and it feels like the coaching staff took care of things at halftime, as football coaches do.
I just wonder if Edgar, so Regis coming from a turfed field, and they've got a multi-million-dollar turfed practice field. I just wonder if Edgar also doesn't feel they're in the driver's seat because they're making these guys play on grass, and it'll be tall grass too. It'll be thick grass to run through.
Yeah, speaking of the field, one thing I noticed, and on the Red Zone channel throughout the year, we've watched Edgar almost every night, and they don't have dashes on their football field for the individual yard lines.
Nope.
Well, they did.
Oh.
Last Friday.
You think they heard you?
Maybe, and they're super white. The lines every 5 yards are faded, and the really bright 31, 32, 33-yard line.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, good. You're going to be on the field tomorrow night in Edgar.
That's the rumor.
Tom King on the call. We are planning to introduce our pylon camera at that game, just like you see in the NFL and anywhere else. Dan will be administering the pylon camera on the first down line and then on the goal line as the situation calls for, all game long.
I'm laughing at this soccer game.
Fog
because
bowl.
it's foggy.
It's the Fog Bowl in Marshfield right now.
Eagles at Bears, like 1991 right here.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I remember that game well, as a matter of fact, and I was only 6 or 7 when that game was played. I do remember it. All right, yeah, and then volleyball. So back to volleyball then, and soccer. Should Columbus win, we would follow the Dons into their sectional final game on Saturday, probably an afternoon game. Volleyball, we will carry the winner of Eau Claire Memorial and Eau Claire North. That game will be scheduled to be at Eau Claire North on Saturday. And we will also carry live the winner of Wapaka and Mosinee, scheduled to be played at Merrill. We got the official took a tumble there in the box. Or no, that's the goalie. He's got well, with the fog, that shirt looks like the officials have red on, and that kid's got dark orange on.
Yeah, whoever's in the dark uniform is probably the away team. Maybe.
Yeah. Arcadia's black. Yep. They certainly are.
So Arcadia had a one-on-one. It was just the attacker and the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper made a great save. And
Lucas Kreklau, as a matter of fact,
and upended the attacker as he kind of tripped over the goaltender.
Yeah, Kreklau goes about 6'2", 6'3". He's got a little bit of bulk to him. You remember Lucas probably from the Columbus Dons basketball team in years past.
Man, they're stacked this year.
Big man down low for the Dons. But at any rate, yes, we'll be at least 2 volleyball games live on Saturday, maybe more. The website will be updated throughout the day on Friday as we confirm the site locations. And so check ZaleskiSports.com for all your local listings on Saturday. There you go.
Volleyball sectionals are at a predetermined site?
Yes. Well, until it looks like we shouldn't be playing so far away from all these teams. So as an example, in Division 1, they actually predetermined the sectional semifinal host. And this year, just as an example, in Division 1, Marshfield was one such host. But the 4 participants are Hudson, River Falls, Eau Claire North, and Eau Claire Memorial. So they don't send all 4 teams to Marshfield. They have them. We're playing at Menominee High School tonight. And again, volleyball starts in about 15 minutes over in Memorial, or over in Menominee. Between Memorial and Hudson.
Yeah, that'd be really good for volleyball fans. You get 2 really good games.
In the same site.
Yeah, back to back.
Yeah, big fan of it. So, yeah, and then again, lots of, we'll be following teams punching their ticket to the state volleyball tournament on Saturday. And maybe one soccer team. We'll see. 0-0, 4 minutes in, playing in the 5th minute, as they say in soccer terminology. All right, Dan, are you ready?
Yeah.
We are going to go now to feature sponsored by Midstate Technical College, and this is Dan Ross's Merriwood Minute.
Sponsored by someone, maybe.
Midstate
Technical College.
Sure is.
Yeah. Welcome to the Merriwood Minute. Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Girls volleyball.
Okay.
Regional playoffs. Edgar coach Evan
Kresbach.
Yeah. All-time performance on the court and the sidelines. An upset win at Marathon. Stratford. Sectional hosting Aquinas tonight. Good luck, Tigers, and good win over those Wildcats. I was starting to believe.
In the Wildcats?
In the Wildcats.
Yeah, well, a coach puts on he's a believable performer.
He's great.
He's awesome. Awesome.
Love him. All right. Newman Catholic, no set losses in regionals. At Wabeno Leona tonight. Good luck, Cardinals.
There you go.
Prentice, no set losses so far. Host Gilman tonight.
Buccaneers.
Good luck, Buccaneers. Yeah, I put a question mark because I wasn't sure because you want to say Pirates.
Buccaneers.
Because of alliteration.
Prentice, it should
Pirates.
Be, but they went with Buccaneers.
Athens, Columbus Catholic, collision course.
Man, Jays and Dons.
Winner plays for a state berth on Saturday.
Probably against Royal. Probably.
4 Merriwood teams, possibly at state.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, stay tuned. Cross-country sectionals, state qualifiers, Assumption girls, Phillips girls, Phillips boys. wear some long pants. It's going to be cold outside. Best of luck to the runners. Speaking of cold weather, the worst part of fall sports is October and November. Wearing hats and jackets and gloves in the stands, far away from players. Give me some basketball. Girls practice a week away.
Man, sure is.
Football playoffs are back. So is Halloween, full of scares. Just ask Abbotsford and Auburndale and Colby and Newman Catholic.
Yeah.
And Edgar for a half. Jason, you know who isn't scared?
Who's that?
The Tigers of Stratford.
Yeah, probably not.
Just keep rolling. Regardless of division, state title rematch with Mondovi. Regis, Edgar. Biggest game at Edgar in how many years?
A generation, maybe.
Yeah. Auburndale, Coleman, upset alert? Question mark. Those wrestlers know how to push each other around in Coleman.
Okay.
Coleman, very big in wrestling.
Very, very much so.
Yeah.
No, known statewide, yes.
Yeah. We here at the Marywood Minute are trying to change the world. Welcome back to the land of the living, Marywood Pride. Good stuff. Jumped in when we...
I was dying on the vine.
I was too.
Oh.
Game time temps.
Yes.
Full color tweets.
Yes.
Bringing up their A game.
Preach.
For the end of the playoffs.
Whoa.
Speaking of the end, that is your Marywood Minute.
Well, again, that's the best thing this show's got going on by far. The Marywood Minute is really, really good.
Marywood Pride. Fantastic. Happy that account is back.
Yeah, if you don't, do x.com is X marks the spot.
Yeah, it does.
Marywood Minute. It's at Marywood _
Yep.
is the handle for those people or person who we at some point we'll pull the veil off at some point.
We have no idea who it is.
And maybe it doesn't even matter. The content is really good. It's really well done, and obviously they are thorough fans of all the Marywood teams over the years, over the decades.
Yeah, they got a lot of pressure to come back from people, viewers of our show.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Good. You had joked about it, but it was somewhat serious. Like we're putting up the bat signal for the Marywood Pride, and just red zone after red zone, and broadcast after broadcast, and weekly show after weekly show, and it finally, like on like Saturday or something, all of a sudden here they came with a Shaquille O'Neal meme on X, and it's been magic ever since.
Yeah. Okay, fine. I'm back with the big GIF. It's so good.
Well, it's needed, and what a conference, right? What a conference that Marywood is. All the different success that those teams have, the state championships and playoff performances. You mentioned the Division VI football, reigning state champs out of that conference. I know the Cardinals, Newman Cardinals, were defeated, so they're not the reigning champs anymore, but they were coming into the season in back-to-back or three, whatever it was, 3 in a row.
Yeah.
For those Newman Cardinals and other sports as well. You mentioned Stratford Tigers. Their motto, it's a good day to be a Tiger. And they all have some pretty good ones. But yeah, good stuff, Dan. Good stuff. And Mid-State Technical College, big fans of the Marywood Minute and everything here at Zaleski Sports. So we're happy to have them aboard for this as well. So, all right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up there. Again, we've got playoff. Soccer is on right now. 0-0 in the 11th minute. Arcadia probably a little surprised they haven't scored yet.
They just scored.
Oh.
You said that and the scoreboard flipped.
Let's turn it back. There you go. Well, okay. So they were a little surprised.
It took literally them, as you said it.
It took them until the 11th minute to score. Well, I want to rewind. It's so foggy there.
It really is.
And I didn't. So they're standing around. Okay, let's find out. Let's see if we can get the score. Don's with a free kick about a minute and a half ago. We'll do kind of a live recap here. Because how the Raiders would have scored that quickly with the Dons with the free kick from the 35-yard line. Goes into goal.
It's really hard to see.
Yeah. So, and then a goal kick coming back for the Raiders. Okay. So the Raiders goal kick about a minute in front of the goal. Yeah, you can't even see the ball. It's no wonder I didn't see there was a score because you can't see the ball on the field. So it looks like the Dons in the 10th minute get yet another free kick. How did the Raiders score this fast? This is magic right here. This is what the playoffs are about. Mystery and intrigue.
Do you think maybe they scored before this and they just didn't put it on the scoreboard?
Well, maybe. All things are possible here. Because it's so foggy, maybe they couldn't see a goal was scored.
Yeah.
Or didn't see in too late. Okay, well here...
That's a goal for the white team. That's the Dons.
That's the Dons score. Yeah, the Dons take a 1-0 lead. There you go. So, yeah, a goal being scored was correct. They had it.
That was a really good goal.
They've got it miscalculated on there.
Assuming that the Dons are white.
You know, that's a good point, doesn't it? Boy, that just looked like Krakow on goal, but maybe well... There's so much going on in the Fog Bowl. We'll turn some volume on. That'll help me out here. I want to give people a real update because I want them to go watch soccer. Good. Joe Anderson on the call. He's going to tell us who scored, and I'll know right away. Because they got the walkie-talkie communication from the field up to the press box. So we'll get the goal scorer. I mean, I'm sure he can't see all the way from the press box down there.
No, I don't think so.
Tough spot for Joe to be tonight.
We're going to say that goal was by John Carlos Alvarez.
So Arcadia with the goal.
Yeah.
Is how that works out. So the Raiders take the lead, and we're going to just take a peek here, Dan, and we always give Dan last thoughts. Yep, Eau Claire North Memorial. The feed is live. Volleyball starts in 14 minutes. Sectional semifinal. Playoffs on Zaleski Sports.
Yeah. Go out, cheer on your favorite team, and bring some friends with. Be loud. If it's your home school, go out, scream as loud as you can. Level 2 football, we are definitely getting down there. A lot of really good games. I don't think that anybody that we talk to on the network is going to be a one-sided game.
No, I don't think so.
The only potential might be Kimberly if they get rolling, right? But Spash is a good team this year. And, yeah, get out, cheer on your favorite team. It means a lot to them.
Playoffs are on Zaleski Sports right now on YouTube. Go watch. Have a great day, everybody.